What's going on, guys? Back with another video. So I got a few clips here for you today. The first one, Canadian officials are using the fact that Canadians' pensions and elites, like Carney, shelter most of their money in the USA. Then we have Unearthed. Poilievre was going to let federal government employees work from home. And finally, Carney today claiming that the threats to Canada are the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up in the morning. So we're going to get into these videos, but before we do, please again don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help grow the channel. And I appreciate you guys doing that for me so much. So let's get into this, and then we'll talk about it after.
A big number investment the same way that the Japanese proposed?
But our conversations with senators and members of the administration, if they're looking for countries that invest massively in the United States, that's great news for Canada. Because, for example, our pension funds alone have over $1 trillion of investment in the United States. That can potentially grow by $100 billion or more a year, and that's just the big 9 Canadian pension funds. And that example repeats itself all over the place. So if one of the objectives is to show the United States administration that Canadians and Canadian businesses and pension funds are investing in the United States, we're
A big number.
Is that what elbows up meant? I guess that's what it really meant, right, guys? It means that we're going to invest all of our money in the United States. That's pushing back, apparently. Dropping the retaliatory tariffs was also pushing back, apparently. Man, I don't know when liberals are going to get it, but they got duped. And they got duped so badly, it's hilarious. The next clip here we have of Pierre Poilievre. Unearthed. Poilievre was going to let federal government employees work from home and was only going to cut via attrition. But Ottawa voters fired him and voted for a UK investment banker who was going to purge 50,000 of their jobs because the TV box told them to. Again, Bruce Fanjoy screwed Pierre Poilievre by lying to the people of Carleton, saying that Pierre was going to be the one to cut all the jobs. And now here we are. We've heard reports of the 50,000 to 60,000 number floating around, and that's how many of them are going to lose their jobs. I really hope they're writing Bruce Fanjoy and Mark Carney a nice thank you letter for lying to them just to win a seat in an election. Let's have a look at what Pierre's got to say here. Okay, let me just refresh that. Not sure why it's not working.
Are proposing
okay, here we go. Sorry about
that. The Conservatives are proposing to bring in a Treasury Board policy that would allow all federal public servants who demonstrate they can get their jobs done remotely to have the option to work from home permanently, and to have hybrid models that allow them to go into flexible work hubs, book a space to either meet with people, use advanced technologies, printers, etc., but to spend more of their time at home if they wish. We believe that's going to vacate many of the buildings that we currently have, and that over the next several years, as those offices begin to empty out, we'll be able to sell them for affordable housing for our youth and less fortunate.
Sounds like a great plan. Now, when Bruce Fanjoy was busy lying to people in Carleton, I wonder if he showed them this video. I bet he didn't. Couldn't have. He's like, hey, listen, I'm not going to cut jobs. Like, Pierre Poilievre wasn't going to just go in and slash jobs. He was just going to not replace people who retired or who quit, and slowly bring down the level of government over the course of years. Mark Carney and Bruce Fanjoy are just going to go slash and cut tens of thousands of jobs, which is what they said that Pierre was going to do. Again, I say it all the time. When it comes to the Liberal Party and what they have to say, it's confession by projection. Look what Pierre's going to do. Pierre's going to do this. Pierre's so bad, and then they turn around and do it. It's disgusting, but hey, people keep believing them, and that's their own damn fault. Lastly, Carney today claiming the threats to Canada are the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up in the morning. He then proceeds to laugh about it. The more I hear him speak, the more I realize how little he actually says. So let's take a look at what old Mark Carney has to say here.
I'll touch on one other issue in the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which is security. Security in this part of the world, security across in this part of our country, I should say, and security across for Canada. There are new threats that have emerged. Physical threats, virtual threats, tangible threats. We take those threats seriously. We take our responsibility to defend all Canadians seriously. It's the first thing we think about when we get up in the morning. Minister of National Defense does not sleep. He does not get
That's
up
hilarious.
in the morning because of these threats. And I think we're starting to see the first phase of that reaction. 365-day presence in the Arctic on land.
It was a whole lot of nothing, and then he said, "Yeah, our Minister of Defense doesn't sleep," and then chuckles about it. What's funny about that? Just after he says we have to take these threats seriously. Again, Liberals got duped, big time. Swing voters, even more. I mean, let's be honest. Staunch Liberal voters were going to vote Liberal no matter what, right? I mean, they could have put Joseph Stalin in there and they'd vote for him. But the swing voters, the ones who were on the side of Pierre Poilievre, who were on the side of common sense, decided to abandon that for a central banker who made false claims and false promises, said he'd be tough on Trump, and here he's laughing about it. These threats are serious, and then laughs. You still believe him? Is he still your daddy? You know, the people actually made shirts saying, Mark Carney's our daddy and things like that. It's really insane. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Being a liberal is like it's like its own mental health issue. You'd have to be at this point. How could you even look at what they're saying, all their lies, all their false promises, and look at that party and say, yeah, it was a Justin Trudeau problem. No, it's a party problem, and it's a you problem because you keep believing them. They're given chance after chance after chance. It's unbelievable. But this is the country we live in. It's a liberal country. The Liberal Party, is not held accountable. The person who leads the party sometimes is, after 10 years of destroying the country, finally they've had enough with him. And then they replace him with his advisor, and everything's all good in the gang. Again, this is not a voting strategy. This is not politics. This is mental health. Something has to be seriously wrong with you for you to continually even consider voting for this party. Again, it is not a Carney problem. It's not a Trudeau problem. It's not a Chrystia Freeland problem. It is a party problem. They're globalists. And they keep lying and they keep getting away with it, so why not keep lying? But either way, let me know what you guys think. Feel free to comment on anything I've showed you guys today. Please do not be shy. I really enjoy engaging with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back shortly with a new one.